Content creation is more than just posting on Instagram or Facebook. It's about sharing your unique message and story in a way that resonates with your audience. But it's so easy to fall into the trap of mimicking what others are doing, especially when you see it working for them. The problem is when you're mimicking, you're not standing out. Hey everyone. Welcome back to the Socially Ausome Podcast. Alyece Smith here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about something that's going to cut kind of deep for some of you, but I think it's so important. I really want to talk about the copy-paste content out there and how to start creating your own authentic content that feels true to you. So I have noticed a large part of my audience that just feels that imposter syndrome. And a lot of times we get that when we're scrolling and we're seeing other people that are winning and we're struggling, right? But another reason you are feeling that way is because you are uncertain of your content. You're uncertain of your brand. And that's part of the reason that you may be, I don't want to say you're copy paste. We've all done it at some point, but mimicking others' content. And it doesn't feel aligned to you. So then you get that imposter syndrome, right? Content creation is so much more than just posting on Instagram or Facebook. It's about sharing your unique message and your story in a way that resonates with your audience. But it's so easy to fall into the trap of mimicking others and what they're doing, especially when you see it working for them, right? The problem is when you're mimicking, you're not standing out. Authenticity is the number one thing that will win for you when it comes to content creation and building on social media. Your audience can sense when someone feels mimicked, right? Or when something feels forced. And authentic content connects with people on a deeper level. When you show up as the real you, it attracts the right clients and it builds that trust. So if you're just copying what you're seeing, you might get some quick likes, but it's not going to build those long-term relationships you need in order to drive the sales that you want. And it's not going to build your brand loyalty. So I want to give you some action steps. If you've been here a while, you know in this podcast, I really like to give you quick action steps that you can go put in your business today. So I've got 4 of them for you. If you have a pen and paper, write this down. If you're driving or you don't have pen and paper, just download this episode. Make sure you're following the podcast. You can come back and listen to it later. But tip number 1 is share your story. Right? People connect with stories, not statistics, right? So talk about why you started your business, the struggles you've faced, the wins you've had. And the beauty of this, and make sure you're following the podcast because I have an episode coming next month all about storytelling and how magical it can be for your content. But people remember stories, right? So if I just spit out a bunch of statistics at you about my product or my, how people are going on social media, you're going to forget those, right? You're going to forget those. But if I told you this story about how 80% of entrepreneurs quit in their first year, I felt the same way. I was struggling. I almost threw in the towel. And then how I had, think about all the elements of a story, right? There's a climax, there's a fall, there is a hero, there's a villain, all those things, right? So I go on and tell you this story about how I almost threw in the towel and then I had this light bulb moment, everything fell into place, now my business is booming. You're going to remember that story. So not only does it connect better, but it's more memorable, okay? The second tip for you is to define your core values. This is so understated when it comes to building your business. A lot of people get into online business and they jump right into the content creation. But the truth is you need to know, what does your brand stand for, right? Those values guide your content. They guide every decision you make for your business. If your family is important to you, weave that into your post. Your content doesn't need to be all sales, right? In fact, it should be a mixture between education, inspiring, entertaining, and your story should be weaved into all of this. So when you know your core values of your business, and we're actually working on this right now in the Social Success Challenge. I'll link the challenge in the show notes. You can check it out. It's all recorded. So if you're late to the game, you could still hop in and do the 30-day challenge with us. But when you know your core values, you feel more aligned in the decisions you make for your business. So when you do get that imposter syndrome and you are scrolling and you see that new shiny course that makes all these promises, you can look at it and say, you know what? One of my values is authenticity and transparency. And for me, I might not like the way this is being marketed, right? It's not super transparent. So this doesn't align with my values. And it makes it very easy for you to make those decisions for your business in the long term, okay? Number 3, get vulnerable. Share your mistakes, share your challenges. It humanizes you and it makes your audience feel like they're not alone. So part of content marketing is to build that relationship. And when we think about relationships, they're almost never perfect, right? Like there's always a fight or something going on. Somebody makes a mistake, somebody has to apologize. Your relationship with your ideal client, your audience, is exactly the same. And when everything is perfectly polished, your ideal client is looking at your content and saying, ooh, she's too perfect for me, or I could never do what she does. Because right now, they're in a whole different place in their life than you are, more than likely, right? So making that vulnerability in your content is going to humanize you, and it's going to make them see the transformation that's possible for them, rather than them looking at your content and saying, oof, I don't know, that's probably, not where I could be. When we share those mistakes and we share that story, they're able to see where you were to where you are now, and they can relate to that, right? And then number 4, engage more, post less. And I will tell you, I teach you in my Sales Machine Masterclass how I take one piece of content every single month and turn it into about 80. And I post on multiple platforms, and I have people all the time like, oh my gosh, how do you have so much time to create content? The truth is, it's all derived from my signature content plan. So if you haven't gone through my Sales Machine Masterclass, it's completely free. I'll link that in the show notes as well. But you should not be spending a large majority of your time every day creating more content. It should be more about engagement. So when you learn how to create a rinse and repeat content strategy where you can batch your content, you can post it all, schedule it for the week, schedule it for the month, that alleviates the stress of the constant creation, the constant posting, and gives you more time in your day to engage with your audience. Because ultimately, building those real connections with your audience through your DMs, through your comments, through your conversations is what's going to lead to sales in your business. And when you're constantly obsessing over perfectly curated posts and trying to look perfect on social media, you are never getting to the relationship building piece. And by the time you get to, okay, I got to answer my DMs today, you're wiped, right? You're stressed, you're overwhelmed. And when you engage more, you're able to show that authentic self. And that is what people want. People buy from people. So when you are spending more time focused on building those relationships, it's going to, showcase and humanize that brand like we talked about, but it's also going to lead to a better result in your business. So 4 tips: share your story, define your core values, get vulnerable, engage more, and post less. And you're going to see that your business just takes a 360. Honestly, authentic content isn't just about showing up. It's about showing you as you, and your audience will love you for it. Okay. So if you got any value out of this episode at all, please make sure to leave us a review. You can actually comment on this episode. Let me know your thoughts on this particular episode. I would love for you to screenshot this, throw it in your IG stories, and tag me at socially.awesome. I want to share you with my audience. I want to help you get visibility on your own brand, your own content. And it's always important to show your audience that you're continuing to grow and learn for your business for them, right? So it's my absolute love language. I would love for you to leave a review. If you're not already in Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs, our free Facebook community, definitely check out the show notes. Jump in there. We have, weekly tips, tricks, and trainings to help you grow your business online. And again, I'm going to drop some resources in the show notes as well for you. Check out the Social Success Challenge. If you're really struggling with your authentic brand and your authentic business, It's so important that you go back to the drawing board and build that solid foundation. And that's exactly what that challenge is about. So make sure you go out there, you start creating that authentic content, being true to you, and make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome.